Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. I'm every woman inside of me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. I'm every woman. I'm gonna stress you out. Anytime you just trying to chill, baby, playing some Xbox, maybe. I'm every woman inside of me. I can never decide what to eat, but I'll get stressed out if I don't eat. I'm every woman inside of me. Cut it. Cut the song. Ladies and gentlemen, especially the ladies. Ow, ow, ow. DJ Evan, every lady get on the dance floor. This is for you. Happy International Women's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Or month. I think we gave y'all a month. Some girl stumbled on this podcast because it said International Women's Day. What do you mean y'all gave us a month? Okay, listen, I'm a strong, independent woman, and you did not give us anything. We fought for it. Women can do anything that men can do just as good. Oh, yeah? Well, where were y'all in the war? And I'm talking about those early ones, okay? When that shit was fought with muskets and shit, fucking raccoon hats. Living out there in the fucking woods and shits. With the fucking Yankees and shit, the Civil War. Where were y'all then? Y'all would have been complaining in the mud. It's cold. I'm cold. Can I have your blanket? Now I'm hot. I'm hungry. I don't want to eat that anymore. I'm just joking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just joking. Kind of, because listen, there's a lot of shit that guys do. I leave so much out. Listen, when you're in a relationship, when you live with someone for a couple of years, you know, they start picking up on shit that you do that you never realized you did because no one's held you accountable in such a closed environment. You know, you let your dogs down. You let your guard down. I mean, your guard dogs, bars. You let them down a little bit when you're in a relationship living with someone. Because when you're just in an apartment with roommates, you know the boundaries. Okay, you got to think, hey, this is a community area. You know, I gotta watch my P's and Q's. I gotta dot my I's, cross my T's, etc., etc., etc. And when you're in a relationship, sometimes you just don't do that as much. Sometimes you're just like, we're a team, home team. But then you find out how many fucking cabinets you leave open. And then you find out that your socks, they can't go in that hamper. Oh, you can't do that, you know? But that's life. That's life. I sound like an old married couple. International Women's Month, I believe it is. We gave y'all a good month. March. It's a long one. I love women. Listen, shout out to Amanda Nunes. She has had a phenomenal weekend at the UFC. That woman, if there is ever because there's always the thing about women can do everything that men can do. There's always the limitations of sport. Okay, it's just what it is. I have a bit about it where I'm not even going to say it. Never mind, because I like the joke. When it comes to fighting, boxing. But there's some women that are so good at what they do, they can compete with the men. And I think Amanda Nunes is one of those that she'll beat the shit out of most regular men all day, any day, no matter what. But she is such a top tier athlete. So celebrating International Women's Day. Amanda Nunes, if you're watching this, shout out to you. Okay? Shout out to you. Shout out to all the women out there. Shout out to Shaka Khan, okay? Because when I thought, what is a good song to intro? You know, your boy does that. As soon as I'm about to hit record, I go, what song we dropping? Bars. And then, of course, that one came to my head. I'm Every Woman. And I'm like, okay, is that Whitney Houston or is that Shaka Khan? And then so I have to go look. Shaka Khan. Whitney Houston has her own rendition of it. because she always loved to do that shit. She just loved it. That's why she didn't have that much money when she got later on in her career, because she didn't own any of the rights to her music because she didn't write them. I'm sure she wrote some of them, but et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Shaka Khan, I believe, wrote that song. I could be wrong, but that is a banger of a song. Listen, and I watched the video because your boy, I had to get the delivery right. Okay, I respect these songs. I respect women. Okay, hashtag Women's Earth Day or whatever. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Okay, there's a joke in there somewhere. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. And let me tell you something. After watching this video, Shaka Khan could get it. Okay? Listen, she starts singing that when she's dancing in this video and everything. She got like 7 of hers. They were working with the green screen. Shaka Khan could knock on this door. It didn't even make sense what I just said. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, it's Monday. We're coming in hot. Okay, we're coming in hot, but we're a little tired. We're a little tired this morning. That's okay. Shaka Khan's hot, man. Shaka Khan. I just like saying it. Shaka Khan. And this is where it starts getting interesting. I was reading these lyrics. I'm every woman. It's all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. Everyone from A to Z. You're a witch. Oh, and then she says, I can cast a spell of secrets you can tell. A special brew, put fire inside of you. Okay, seems a little risque. Anytime you feel danger or fear, then instantly I will appear, because I'm every woman. Okay. Anytime you feel danger or fear, then instantly I will appear. That could be the thing, because it's like anytime you're just relaxed, a woman will appear. Why are you relaxing? Shouldn't be relaxing, enjoying your life. I'm every woman. I can sense your needs like rain onto the seeds. I can make a rhyme of confusion in your mind. That's true. And when it comes down to some good old-fashioned love, I got it. Baby. Bars, Shaka Khan. Bars. Shout out to all the women out there just rocking it in the free world, just living life, popping out babies. It's a rough job. That's a rough job, popping out babies, having to deal with men, We're so stupid. We really are, and you guys got to put up with that. It's an interesting thing navigating men and women, the difference, and especially now. I don't even know what it would be like out there in the free world. It's such a weird landscape of what is allowed and what is like the culture. The culture has gone to a weird place of life of you almost can't even appreciate women and say like certain things. Not appreciate. I'm making it sound like, oh, I can't even give a girl a compliment when I'm walking by her in the street. Like, hey, sugar, you should smile more. No, I've never done that once in my life. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen or just heard, that what men say to women. I'm not even a white knight. I'm a manamist. But when you hear about some of the shit that guys say, the lines, it's like, where does that work? I remember I knew this dude. There was this guy I knew when I was younger, and he would get really close to your face. He was an adult, and he would get really close to your face. And I don't want to reveal too much, so people start figuring out who this is. But me and other people that were my age, we knew he would always invade your personal space and always talk like that. So we'd make it a joke to try to out-personal him, but he would always take it a step further, where if like he would come in and he'd be like, hey, how you doing, man? And then get close to your face, I would get even closer and be like, doing good, man. How are you doing? And get even closer. And then he would one-up you like where you were about to kiss. It was different. And I remember one night he got a little liquored up, and he was starting to tell us about how he would hit on woman, like we're cavemen, how he hit woman. And I remember he got a little liquored up, and keep in mind, your boy's like 16 at this time. And he comes up to me and my buddy, and he's like, yeah, here's what you guys got to do, okay? I think he was saying, this is what we would do back in the day. He says, I walk up to a girl in a bar and say, what's that snatch like? What's that snatch look like? And I couldn't believe that a human would say that to another human. And I just pictured this only being something that happens in the weirdest, diviest of dive motorcycle bars. Okay, we're talking biker bars where you say that to a girl, she punches you in the face, and then y'all start making out, and then she like cracks a pool table stick over your head. That's the only way that conversation should go, you know? And like, what would you even say in reality back to that? Like, you couldn't say anything back. No girl's gonna be like, well, it depends really on what time of the day it is. It's got great Yelp reviews. There's just nowhere to go to that. You can't even be like, wow, you're confident. All right. Well, find out. See for yourself, mister. So weird. So weird, ladies and gentlemen. But shout out to all y'all women. Speaking of women, this is something, I had to write this down yesterday that I couldn't believe. Nicolas Cage, who's 57 years old, married a 26-year-old. A 26-year-old. What does Nicolas Cage have in common? What can he talk to a 26-year-old about? Except shit that a father talks to a daughter about. Like, is he just going to give her life advice? What? Like, obviously, I know in my monkey brain, I'm just thinking, okay, well, he's just trying to be part of the fountain of youth. My man's trying to relive the glory days of like a young, youthful girl in her 20s, carefree. Maybe he's trying to recapture that moment. But you're marrying her, Nick. You're marrying her, Mr. Cage. What are you going to talk about? You guys are in such different places in your life where it's odd. And this is why Hollywood is so weird, because I don't really think in any other area of the world does this really seem okay. But for some reason, we always allow this in Hollywood. Like, obviously it's weird, but it never really happens. Everybody's like, oh yeah, he has a young girlfriend. Oh yeah, this. But I just don't get it. I don't get what you talk about. That's the biggest thing to me. What do you talk about? I keep repeating that because I'm like, I just don't know. You talk about the weather? You talk about how her videos are doing on TikTok? You help her sell her influencer protein shakes? I don't even know what she looks like or anything about her. She could be a very nice girl. But what was also a weird flex is his ex-wife and his son were in attendance of the wedding. Shout out to that ex-wife for being willing to be there for that. This is one of those weird things. And I knew something was wrong with Nicolas Cage when I saw that his beard and hair was jet black. Jet black. My man was dyeing it just to try to capture that youth. And it's always a weird flex to me when guys dye their hair to the point of it doesn't look natural at all. Take a look at Nicolas Cage. It's black, jet black. Nicolas Cage, my man, let it go. You've done great. But there's something great to people being able to age gracefully. And I get it. You're in a tough world, Hollywood, where it's like, we need you to be young. We're trying to squeeze this grape as long as we can. Isn't it weird there's some actors who are just old? Like, you've always just kind of known them as old, like Robert De Niro. Like, there's Goodfellas and everything like that, but Robert De Niro is just one of those old actors. It's never been... you've never seen Robert De Niro trying to not be the old guy. He, even in his younger movies, when he was like a phenomenal movie... what is it? It's where he plays a bus driver, A Bronx Tale. If you haven't seen A Bronx Tale, that's a classic. That's a classic. But he plays like a a bus driver whose son gets caught up in the glory of, this crime lord, drug dealer, mafia guy, and the allurement and the glitter and gold, while his dad is just a regular bus driver making an honest living, a working man. And it just goes back and forth, the conflict of it. A great story taking place in the Bronx. But it's always funny to me because in those old movies, the Italian old man tough guys, they're just like old men. And they're like, they got their rolled up white tees and their shoulders, like their things all just rolled up a little bit. And they're just, they've never been in the inside of a gym, but they're ready just to fight anybody. Like, dude, you never even punched a heavy bag. They're just not athletes at all. They're just smoking cigars, eating salami, but they're just ready to throw down. And then they beat the shit out of like 4 20-year-olds at like 60. And you're like, yeah, that's believable. That's believable AF, Oh yeah, I saw this with Texas. So everybody knows Texas opened up, and I have some people on the ground there who are saying it's really not as open as the news is saying. Where Texas, everywhere still has masks, all that, but it's not as crazy as people think with it being open. All the businesses are pretty much requiring masks, and here's the issue. Here's what's starting to happen. There's starting to be some fucked up people who are too fucking high on America and freedom, where they're now going to businesses that, obviously, like, businesses have always been able to impose their own laws. If you want to be in this business, like, that's what most businesses say on the door. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. They don't give a fuck. And remember, no shoes, no shirt, no service? It's always been a thing. But now there's people going into businesses who think just because the governor lifted the ban that they can just do whatever and not wear a mask anymore inside when businesses require them. So people have been going to businesses without masks. The businesses, hey, you still need to wear a mask in here. They flip out, go full Karen on them, and then start calling ICE and all these places on the kitchen. There was a restaurant in Houston where they got kicked out of the restaurant for not wearing a mask, not wanting to wear it. They called ICE, told them that there was a ton of illegal immigrants in the bathroom, or in the bathroom, in the kitchen working. They didn't have their papers. They were there illegally. And they got ICE called on them. And they're trying just to ruin these businesses now because they don't want to follow the business's guidelines. And this was the only thing I saw an issue with government, with Texas opening up the way that Abbott did it, was maybe he did set the blueprint and saying, now listen, this doesn't mean businesses aren't going to impose their own, but I'm leaving it up to them. He just said Texas is 100% open, blah, blah, blah. And that just gave people the idea of like, woo, the boys are back in town, boys are back in town. And it kind of is putting a lot of friction, stress on the businesses that didn't want to have the responsibility. Because that's what's kind of nice about these businesses that have had to, who do want to impose certain restrictions and social distancing. They haven't had to have the responsibility of enforcing it. It's a federal law. Please wear it while you're in here. But now it's like, no, this is our own discretion. We just want. So now they're the bad guys. And while I think mask mandates opening up is a good, a step in the right direction, I do see it being trouble for these people, these businesses, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm excited. This is my last month in California. Going to be heading out to the Midwest, outside of Austin. Your boy leaves soon. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Going to be doing stand-up again. It's an interesting thing. And I've been working on material for a while now. I try to write. My method is 30 minutes in the morning. I'll usually do just writing, and then I do 30 minutes in the evening, kind of almost performing it, going through with it, and kind of setting it into cement, like, remembering the bits and everything, and just kind of getting the muscle memory of everything going again. But it's exciting, man. It's funny. There's been people who think, like, and maybe this is just reflection of themselves or just in general that people do kind of, well, I guess I'm going to do something else, because you see that even with comedians in any walk of life. When I was doing music and everything, there were some people who, like, they didn't understand. Like, I've always had the mindset of I'm going to do something creative because that's what I'm naturally inclined to do. Something in entertainment and performing because that's what I enjoy the most. That's what gives me fulfillment. And I'm always going to push that outlet. There's no plan B. I always hated people saying, well, you got to have a backup plan in case this doesn't work out. No, I'm going to move with it and figure out a way. It might not work out the way you want it to work out, this thing you picture in your head, but I'm going to find a way to still get all of my fulfillment and do what I want to do. These people think, man, it's like, it's such a trap, the plan B, because if you're not 100% focused on what you're trying to do, you're not going to succeed at it. You're going to always have that option. You got to burn the boats. That's dramatic as fuck. But I really do believe that, people, because, like, what is the plan B? Oh, well, like, the idea of being like, well, I'm going to get a job doing this and that's going to make me money, but it is what it is. I got bills. And then people start making excuses. And there's some people, it's weird that they try to make those excuses for you of why it's not going to work, or, you're going to give up on it or something like that. And I've had a few people during the pandemic reach out and they're just like, so do you think you're going to ever do stand-up again or something? I'm like, the fuck, bitch? Yeah, of course. Of course. As soon as this is over, I'm going back, and there's just no option. And that was kind of the big move to Texas, was about that. It's no secret that there's a big comedy scene being built up in Austin. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I just want to go. I just want to go completely dive in to this art form, and to it's more of a lifestyle, if you will. But, like, what's the point? If you're not going to do something completely, why not take risks? Why not completely immerse yourself into it? And that's what I'm just excited to do. It's something that I've enjoyed more than anything in my life. And I don't know. I just see it as an opportunity to completely engulf myself in it. I know I said engulf, immerse, indulge in the culture, but I just always felt like in LA and Ventura, while I love the comics in Ventura, I've never felt like I was completely here for that. Going to Austin, I'm like, okay, I'm here, and this is why I'm doing it. I grew up close to LA. I've never really had that move where it was like, I'm here for this reason. It was always like, I got my family here. I have, my parents are over here. I have friends here. I went to college in Ventura. It's never really felt like this was why I'm here. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's like why I want to move to Austin with it, is completely just, this is why I'm here, and this is all I'm going to work at. I don't want a regular job. I don't want, I don't know. I don't want a plan B, and I just want to keep moving forward with it. Yeah. I don't know why I had to tell you guys that. Sometimes you just got to share, share what you're feeling. I think it's because I mentioned that I'm nervous about it. It's scary. It's scary to completely move everything, just take a chance and just move across the United States just on an idea of like, well, let's fucking do it, and let's just go see what's over there, figure it out. And then there's also the, man, I've most comedians I've met great people. I haven't really met much douchebags. There are a few, but it's like, what area of the world are you going to be in where you don't have to deal with douchebags? It's impossible. But I like it because there's so many established comedians that are going to be there and comedians that are much better than me. And that's scary to me, and it makes you feel insecure and uncomfortable. But in reality, I love it. I love feeling like that uncomfortable feeling, because fuck, it makes you be like, okay, I'm either going to be so embarrassed and quit, or I'm going to have to level up and get better at this. And that's such a thing where you don't want to be a big fish in the pond. You don't want to get to a place where it's like, this doesn't really challenge me at all, but I'm having fun. And, you're kind of going through the motions. That's like the last thing you want, is to become complacent and okay and feel like you're, the top of something. And in no way am I saying that that's what I am here in Ventura. Not at all. There's great comedians here. But I feel like where I'm going, there's the best comedians in the world. And it's like, it's the same thing with fighting or something like that, jiu-jitsu. You don't want to be the best person in your gym. You want people that you're like thinking about, fuck, I don't really want to roll with this person right now. That's the person you want to roll with. Because that person, unless they're fucktards, okay? Unless they're fucktards and they just try to rip off your ankles and fuck you up and injure you. But if they're just better than you in every way, those are the people you want to train with. Those people, even you can pull back from jiu-jitsu, the people who challenge you on social media, where you see their stuff, and I don't mean all this fake shit on social media, but you see them working hard. You see them accomplishing things that you want to accomplish, even if it's in a different lane. You want to accomplish your version of that. Those people are important to motivate you and to make you feel like shit and to make you feel uncomfortable. And as long as you don't let that churn you into jealousy or, into bitterness or resentment and like, man, fuck that person. I don't want to, blah, blah, blah. You can use that. That's powerful stuff. And I think it's like a healthy way to live, rather than looking at people and what they're doing and what they're accomplishing. I always only look at it as motivation. Because the second you're like, oh, I want that. Why does that? That's fucking poison. Poison. That shit is poison. There's that great quote. There's that great quote. What is it about? Comparison is the thief of joy. I really do believe that. If you use it like you versus them. Because like that's the other trick to all of this, is never competing in what you're trying to do. Like I always just use looking at other people's life of how I'm going to improve myself in my own competition, because it's cliche. It's something I really never understood when I was younger, but I've realized now, is there really is only one me. There really is. And if I try to compete with everybody else and everything that their skill set is and what they're good at, I'm going to lose, because that's not me, and then I'm going to spread myself thin. I literally can only apply it to my own adventure, We all pick our own adventure, but I really can only apply it to that, where what I'm trying to accomplish, seeing what they're doing in their own journey and applying it to mine as motivation. There's only one me. There's only one you. And that's also what I think creates original ideas and original thoughts. That's actually why some people have asked me why my business name for video production, everything is Organic Originals. Shout out to Organic Originals. It's because it's something I really believe in, the idea of being organic and being original. Listen, vegans and hippies have ruined the word organic. Vegans, the beef is back on. Bars. They've ruined organic because it makes you think it's associated with something that's super like, are these eggs organic? Yeah, but are these avocados? How are they harvested? Like you start putting that with organic. But in reality, organic is just something that happens naturally and is kind of authentic. And that's what it always was, is like, be organic and be original. Original. Be organic and be original. Like, just be the best version you can possibly be of yourself and stay original. Don't try to be someone else. I guess they're kind of one and the same. It just sounds good, organic originals. And listen, I'll be honest, I just couldn't copyright the originals. It's one of those words where there's already way too many of them. Listen, when you start getting into branding, coming up with business names, and buying domains, it's hard to get one of those old school ones. Theoriginals.com, good luck. You end up spending $10,000. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with that on Monday. Your Monday motivation. Be organic. Be original. Don't compete with nobody. Be the best version of yourself. Get to a place where you're scared again. Something that gets you nervous, makes your willy tingle, you know? Something makes you think, fuck, this could go very bad. And guess what? It's good if it goes bad. It's good. Listen, sometimes you lay up at night and you think about some shit and you just cringe. You cringe. The biggest jumps, always after bombing. After something goes terrible, after you lose, that'll teach you the most. That'll teach you the most, baby. And remember, no matter what, fuck you. I'm just kidding. I love you.